Krajco was of the first survivors who talked about narcissistic abuse under her real name. She died unexpectedly in her home 2008. She was 56 years old. I suspect the narc hive mind was behind her death. In her book, What Makes Narcissists Tick, Krajco says, NPD is full of paradoxes that make it a migraine headache to explain. For example, if you describe the bad things narcissists do, you must always contrast their behavior in the dark with its covering makeup put on in the light of day. If you set out to explain how narcissists ignore their children, you must digress to explain the narcissist who does just the opposite, the doting narcissist. You must point out the difference between negative and positive attention, showing how both behaviors are essentially the same, being but different means to the same belittling end. If you try to explain how narcissists abuse people, you must also explain how they flatter people and are very, very nice to them, again showing how both behaviors are essentially the same, being but different means to the same exploitative end. If you try to explain that narcissists seek adulation, you must pause to explain the phenomenon of the narcissist who makes a name for himself as a criminal or brutal dictator, just an alternative means to the same attention-getting end. The list of these seeming paradoxes goes on and on. So, superficial knowledge about narcissism is useless. You must understand the deep motivations to make sense of it. 4. Each narcissist has his own style. Here again, we arrive at a seeming paradox. If narcissists are so unrevealing of what's inside, how do we explain the phenomenon of internet narcissists? Those who write a book that bears the secrets of their soul? Those who run a website? Those who make public appearances and counsel the victims of narcissists? You explain it with one word: attention. This does not mean, however, that an internet narcissist has nothing valuable to offer us. In fact, a narcissist who tries to explain his feelings and motivations is displaying rare courage in facing his true inner self. So, I think you have to give credit where credit is due to narcissists who write and speak publicly about themselves, their illness, how they think, and why they do the things they do. 2 caveats though: never forget for 1 second that they are narcissists acting for their own sake, not yours. They are gaining attention and guru status. How to judge? Go by the gold standard: by their fruits you will know them. If the fruit of his discourse is to misappropriate your sympathy, it's rotten. If the fruit of his discourse is to warn you, relieve you, and help you understand, it is good. Let's look further. If you catch him making you feel sorry for narcissists, shake off the spell and notice what a farce that is. A malignant narcissist is a joker whose favorite trick is to pull an identity switch with the victim. Before you know it, he has you sympathizing with poor little meek and sensitive him and censoring the victim instead. For not just letting him get away with whatever he did. The joke's on you, and the narcissist is laughing up his sleeve at you for being so easy to impregnate with absurdities. The victim has every right to yell back, hit back, get a divorce, call the police, or whatever it takes to teach an abuser never to abuse again or to prevent a habitual abuser from ever abusing again. No matter how sick in the head the poor narcissist is. Sorry is nothing but hot air, and a narcissist will blow it just to make the victim feel obliged to give him another chance to abuse again. So, don't let narcissists sneak logic into your head. Don't let him confuse humanity with human and confuse the noun human with adjective human. It's a shell game with words. Inhumanity isn't human. By definition, treating others with inhumanity is having no humanity. So, narcissists dehumanize themselves, threats their twisted minds think dehumanize their victim, nobody else does that to them. Sympathy for such a predator is as inappropriate as sympathy for the mythological character of the devil would be. But if he talks straight, and if his words comfort the victim, and if he helps us avoid being fools and victims of his kind, that narcissist is doing good. He's also making amends in one of the few ways he can and deserves credit for doing so. Also, by knowing himself, he is combating the disorder, not capitalizing on it by just making it an excuse for his behavior. Not that you should swallow whole everything he says. If you know what's good for you, you don't swallow whole anything anybody says. On some things he may be dishonest. On some things he may not have fought his way through delusions to the truth. And, on some things he may not have peeled away all the layers of the onion to arrive at the heart of a matter. Yet, for the most part, the words of narcissists who do not try to misappropriate your sympathy ring true to me because they make sense and square with my own impressions and experience with narcissists. You too may find them enlightening.